How is everybody doing? Happy Thursday. Let me know who's watching. 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 Um Yeah. So happy Thursday. Thank you all for tuning in. Um, this is a very interesting session tonight because this is very interesting. But like, comment, and share. Um, like, comment, and share. Let me know who's watching. Tag your friends. Tag your loved ones, your family, whoever. Because excuse me, I do believe that this is going to be helpful to some people. So again, thank you all again for your support thus far. We are moving along. Um, I appreciate y'all seeing a little setup here. Hey, Jazz girl. Hey, I had tried to tag as many people as I could think of. I don't forget my mom. Somebody tag my mom. Please tag my mom. But I am grateful because I wanted to come in here, and the way the Lord had me move today was a little different because how are you, Jasmine? How is everybody who's watching? How are you? How has your week been? Um, moving a little different today, and I'm gonna get into it. So I met with or I was speaking to one of the mothers that I know out in Maryland, and she had just suffered from, uh, she had, I believe, bleeding. She had fell, and she had bleeding on her brain, and they had to go in and drill. Hi, Raya. Jasmine, you tired but well? I'm praying that you rest well tonight. Okay, rest well tonight. Hi, Ryder. Hi, my love bug. Yeah, I'm praying you rest, Jazz. You get some rest tonight. Um, but she's an older mother, and she had a fall, and she had some swelling and bleeding on her brain. And there's my boy. Hey, Steven. What's up, dude? Um, she had bleeding on the brain, and she's older, and so they had to go in and drill and uh, perform so many procedures. And they actually told her that if she were younger, she would have passed. But because she was older, her. Hey, sissy. There you go. Hey, girl. If she was younger, she would have passed because as we get older, the brain shrinks, and so because of how much pressure and blood, I believe that was all over there on her brain, she wouldn't have survived if she wasn't the age that she was. And I was able to share with her a little bit of my testimony about where the Lord had brought me from in that short conversation. And one of the things she told me was, she said, never stop uh, testifying about what He's done for you. She said, I don't care how many years ago it was, never stop telling, because there's somebody who you may meet or that doesn't even know. And so it's funny because I was like, okay, I took it and I heard it. And then I was reminded of Dr. Salisbury, Catherine Salisbury. To know her is to know a mighty woman of God, excuse me. And she told me during a prayer clinic that Evangelist Connie hosts every year, and does every year. She told me years ago to always testify. And so I was like, okay, I thought of her. But then this past a day or so ago, I was thinking about that, and then what popped up in my memories, these Facebook memories be getting me. Am I the only one? Because they be getting me. I be like, what in the world? What did that happen? But I had a Facebook memory of me testifying just months after the Lord healed me from an accident that I never thought I would experience before. And I was at AIM. I was at AIM in 2012. And so, listen, Raya. And so I was like, okay. And so that was confirmation to me. And the Lord said, just testify. People have their stories, or they listen, they'll creep up on you. Watch. But people have their versions, and um they have all of their how was me listen. Weren't we all though? Weren't we all? So it wasn't just you. You okay? Um, People have their versions of where I've come from and how it was and all of this stuff. But truthfully, there's no version like the actual version from what they say here from the horse's mouth. And so we're going to give a short session about that tonight. There's a lot. There's so much. Tonight's session or any other session can't testify to all that I've been through and all that God has brought me out of, right? But I just wanted to, I wanted to remind you all that, right? She wanted me either, Soraya. Um, um, but I wanted to remind people that you never know who is going to need you moving forward or in the future. So it's important that we go through and let God bring us out of what we're in. I know you guys often hear me talk about suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts as I was a young age in elementary school, right? And the Lord has shielded me. He's protected me and brought me out of automobile accidents. And one in particular, though, was an accident I never thought that I would experience in my life. I was working in a factory in 2011, and I believe Soraya and Jasmine can attest to this. And I was working third shift, and this was around the time where, I was still living with my parents, and I was, praying and telling the Lord, Lord, I trust you. Whatever you tell me to do, I trust you. And I'm quoting 2 Samuel, reading and going over that and just talking to the Lord. And in 2 Samuel was a confirmation to trust God, no matter what. And so I was like, okay, bet. But it was that night that I told the Lord I trusted him and meant it with my heart. I stepped down from the platform I was working on, and not even a minute later, my supervisor hit me with a forklift. Not just a bump. She was driving, and the forks were already on the floor. And so they kind of went under my feet a little and lifted me. And my body hit the base of the actual forklift where you put the crates on and all of the metal and all of that stuff. And she was just like, oh, I didn't see you. And right away, I said, what just happened? I'm like, so we go from Lord, I trust you to me getting hit by a forklift? I don't get it. And immediately, I felt pain, numbing pain all on my left side. It was so uncomfortable and it was bad. And I was like, okay. So I tried to walk it off, and I tried to shake it off. And no, I take that back. I was coming back from the bathroom and she hit me on my right side because I prayed in the bathroom and I came back, and that's when she hit me coming on the right side. And I was like, okay, all right. So I felt all that pain, and they were like, well, we need to get you to the doctor, we get you to the emergency room. Are you okay? All this stuff. So I go to see their emergency doctor, and they're like, well, let's check in my hands, and, everything's okay, right? But that was a weekend. That was Friday morning Saturday morning, actually. Friday night going into Saturday morning. And I had a wedding rehearsal actually that day. My childhood friend, yes, Stephen, man, you never know. You never know. I had a childhood friend. He was marrying his girlfriend, his fiance at the time. And so I was in their wedding. So I went slinging all, and my friend Shay can, childhood friend Shay can attest to that too. We were at the rehearsal and I was getting ready, and I go back home, get ready to go somewhere else, and all of a sudden, no, I go to bed. Sunday morning comes. I wake up. I couldn't get up the stairs to my bedroom, so I had to sleep in the living room on the couch. And, my parents were aiding me. I woke up Sunday morning, and my whole arm, this arm, was black. Black as this shirt. Black. And I couldn't feel anything. I couldn't move it. It hurt to put, it was numb. But if I were to try to put a shirt on or were to try to pull the shirt off, or if the fabric would touch my arm, it felt like it was on fire. And it was so weird. It was black. It was swollen. And I'm like, I called my parents right away, and they're like, okay. And mind you, Sunday morning, this is when I was still a member at my childhood church, Good Samaritan. And I was preparing, I'm like, I need to go to church. Anybody knows me knows, especially at that time, I was, listen, okay, slept church, ate church, breathed church. And so in my mind, I'm like, I need to go to church. But I said, well, how about you guys just drop me off? Because I couldn't get my clothes off. So I went to the hospital up the street from my church. And I said, you guys can just drop me off. And then, I'll just walk up to the church. And so we go to the hospital, and they drop me off in the emergency room, and they rush me back. And they're doing all these scans. And my childhood friend, Shay, she was at the church, and my parents told her that I was there. Or no, I told her I was there. And so she came and sat with me. The doctors came in, and I'm thinking they did their scans. They scanned my neck. They x-rayed and did a MRI of my neck and everything. And I'm thinking, they're going to come in and release me. They came in and they told me, Ms. Johnson, you can't go home. And I said, why? What do you mean I can't go home? Like, I have church I have church. Sunday school is starting now. I'm a Sunday school teacher. I got to go. Like, my baby's waiting for me. I got to go. They said, no, you can't leave because you have a C3 fracture in your neck. And if you leave, or if you make any sudden moves or movements, you can be paralyzed. And instantly I'm like, what? Like, what are you? And while they're talking to me, they're putting a neck brace on me. They're getting me, getting me situated. And I'm like, hold on, like, wait, all of this is happening too fast. So all the while I'm thinking, what is going on? I've never had a break in my neck anyway. I've had like a little break in my ankle before, step down doing a growth spurt, and a little ankle slip, the bone slipped or whatever, so I needed a cast, but never anything to this extreme. And so I was calling my parents, and I was telling them what they were saying, and they were on their way back from their church coming to the hospital. And as I'm talking to them, tears are running down my face. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And I kept hearing myself tell the Lord that I trusted him the night that I was hit. So they admitted me to the hospital, and they had to do cortisone shots in my neck and injections in my neck. And I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but it's like, they use those injections to kind of help stabilize things. And they told me that I had traumatic nerve syndrome or something to that. I can't even remember the actual term they gave me. And so I had nerve damage. And all the while, my body is shutting down. I can't function. And so I was in the hospital for a month and a half, if not two, but I was in and out of it so much, I don't even remember anything. My mom showed me a picture that she took of me in the hospital room. And I actually found it. I'll never forget the day. It was September 30th, 2011. 2011. I will never forget that day. Never. And I actually found that picture that my mom sent me. And I have it here. Look at that. Knocked out. I didn't even know where I was. I couldn't tell you who I was. And if you look closely, you can see that right side, that right arm swollen. and you can see it's bigger than usual, and it was very scary for me. They would when I would come to, I would be coming or going to another when I would come to, I would be a going to get another scan or going to get another injection or going to get shocks in my arm and all of these things. And then I'd be sedated again. They kept me sedated because the pain was so severe. I couldn't be awake. And when I finally came to weeks or days later, if not, the week when I actually was able to stay awake for a whole day or, longer than a few hours, um, or longer than a few minutes rather, I was able to stay awake for a few hours at a time. And then I would realize that I couldn't move. I couldn't move. I couldn't lift my hand. I couldn't lift my feet. I couldn't do anything. I had no functions in my body limb wise. I couldn't move anything. And I don't know if my mom is on, but she can attest to this. I couldn't do anything. And so they had to sign, they had physical therapy coming in. They had all these different doctors coming in, talking to my mom and doing all these things. And actually, Josue and David Nieves can attest to this. They were there. David was there. David Nieves was there. We were dating at the time, but he was there every day from sunup to sundown. And he was still a good friend of mine. And his sister and his mother, they were all in prayer. All of these people surrounded me with love, but I knew then that this was, like, man, I'm about to be here for a while. So finally, we're going through this process. I had to learn to feed myself again. I had to learn to walk again. I had to learn how to hold and write a pencil and write my name again. I had to learn to use everything that I've known. I had to learn that again. I had to do it again. Me. You would never think that I've gone through something like that. And sometimes I have to remind myself, this is why when it comes to praise, I don't play with it. Because I am very, very, very sure that God is a healer. I am very sure. I talk about him healing me mentally and bringing me back out of dark places and bringing me back from dark moments. And even Chantel can attest to this. All of these things in which couldn't do for myself. I couldn't bring myself out of these dark places. I couldn't heal my body. I had to learn to do these things over again. Brush my teeth. They had to stand there and help me and hold my hand up and work and help me grip the pen, help me grip the toothbrush. I had to learn to do all of these things over again. But I told God, I said, you know what? I'll keep reminding myself of that. And I kept reminding myself of that night. I trust you. I cried plenty of times in that hospital room. I didn't understand why. I didn't understand what I did. I'm living saved for real. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. I'm obeying my parents. I'm obeying leadership. So why is it that this is happening to me? Why is it that I get the short end of the stick? It seemed like every time. But this about the shortest stick I'd have never got. Because physically, I'm not able to do for myself. Physically, I'm not able to move and go and ask. I had to ask for help. I had to ask people to grab me something or feed me. David fed me. My mother fed me. The nurses fed me. They would say, you can't go to the bathroom. You need a bedpan. A bedpan? At 20 some years old, I need a bedpan? I said, no, I gotta go to I don't like that. I don't want you changing me and doing stuff. No, I can do it myself. She said, ma'am, you can't. You can't move. Try it. I tried and couldn't move. So I cried plenty times. And I had to I asked God, and I had to really learn that trusting God means with everything. It means even in the midst of things we don't understand. And I'll show you the picture again to give you more of a touch of what it looked like, or what my reality was. Um, this moment changed my life for ever. I will never forget. And so that's why when people say, "Oh, you got 30 seconds to praise God for what he," look back over what he, I can't, 30 seconds ain't nothing for me, because when I really think about where the Lord has brought me from, this is what I see. This is what I think about. I don't just think about, oh, yes, he provided for me. Yes, he's made ways for me. Yes, he's provided and given me funds and given me resources that I've needed and given me clothes and house. Yes, but he has healed my body and made me whole. Healed my body and made me whole. And I'll never forget that. Never. I've witnessed to older people, mother, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. Surely he can. You couldn't tell me nothing when the Lord brought me out. When finally I was released from the hospital, and I was able to walk out of there, they didn't have to roll me out, excuse me. They had to roll me in, but they didn't have to roll me out. I said, Lord, I thank you. It gave me a greater appreciation and a greater attest to who God really is. Greater testament, excuse me, to who God really is, because he provided something for me that I've never needed him to provide for me. Yeah, I'll wake up in the morning and I say, Lord, thank you for waking me up this morning. But what did that really mean? Thank you for letting me be able to walk. But what did that really mean? I didn't know what that meant until I couldn't walk. That's one out of, well, it's not one, but that's one of one of the ones. And then there was another one in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, 2020, yeah, 2020, where I was T-boned. Oh, coming down, it was a little decline, a little hill, and the guy thought that he could, uh, he thought that he can beat me across the intersection. I'm coming down, and he thought that he can dart across. And instead of making it to his destination, he T-boned me into a fence. T-boned me into a fence. Right? And so I have pictures of that I didn't upload it. But there are just multiple things that I was able to walk away. I was yet able to walk away. And people say, oh yeah, I want something to hit me. I want something to happen to me, so then I'll get paid. Money is not everything when your life is really at stake. I wasn't asking to get hit. I wasn't asking for anything to take place. And trust me, no matter what little money they give you, it ain't worth you being able to actually function the way that you once were able to. Right? And then you never know. God already got plans for us. Why make more issues for ourselves when God already got a trial lined up, or he allowing the enemy to have trials lined up? Right? But I definitely want you all to be encouraged, because you never know. You never know. You never know. It took a long time for the Lord to fill my heart, my mind with peace, my heart with joy, heal my body. Every once in a while, I get a reminder. I get a numbing in my shoulder, or, a little crook in my neck or something like that. But I don't have any issues. I have no lingering issues from that accident that gave me a C3 fracture and nerve damage that caused me to not be able to walk. I was a part of AM and PM choir, Anthony McGahee's choir. I couldn't even attend choir rehearsal anymore. That was our sing. I couldn't do anything for a while. You know how embarrassing it is to be 20-some years old with a neck brace on? I'm like, what is this? What is this about? But I wanted you all to just be mindful that to see me is to see me. But to know where the Lord brought me from is to sit and talk to me. And yes, he's brought me out of a lot, and he's still yet bringing me out. He's still yet showing me how mighty and how majestic he is. There is nothing too hard for God. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Turmoil in the household, nothing too hard for God. Suicide attempts, nothing too hard for God. Hit by a forklift, fractured C3, fractured neck, nerve damage. Gotta learn to walk all over again. Gotta learn to feed myself all over again. Nothing's too hard for God. Homeless, nothing's too hard for God. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bills need to be paid. Got more bills than I do jobs sometimes, or paychecks rather. Nothing is too hard for God. So don't go by what you see. Because people will tell me, oh, when the Lord first healed me and I got out of that thing, let me tell you something. You couldn't tell me nothing. I took off running about every time I made it to a church when I finally got out that wheelchair. Now, it took me a minute. I had convinced the nurses to let me go and my mom to let me go to church. And while I was still hospitalized, and they were like, all right, fine. So they, I had to get a wheelchair then. But when I finally got out of that thing and the Lord healed me, look at here. You couldn't tell me anything. You couldn't tell me nothing because I knew what God brought me from. I knew. And the people who were around me knew. And so it's mindful to, we have to be mindful to always remember, never forget. We sing a song, Jesus, I'll never forget what you've done for me. I mean, are we really forgetting? If we are faced with trouble, how are we combating that? Are we combating that with, oh, well, I'm sad. Oh, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Or, Lord, you know what? I'm going to trust you. Even when you don't even feel like you trust him. Lord, I'm going to trust you anyway. I'm going to trust you. This is hard. They get on my nerves. I'm not ready to pop off. But I'm going to trust you. My body is wrecking in pain, but Lord, I trust you. I got burning in my arms. I got burning in my neck. My head is killing me, Lord, but I trust you. All of which we have to be mindful to remind ourselves of. Lord, I trust you. Nobody ever said that this was going to be easy. And I would hear them sing that, and I'm like, yeah, okay. But child, now I know. Okay? Now I know. But you all be encouraged and just remember that if nobody gets your back, God got you. Just trust him. No matter what you face, no matter what you feel, no matter how people make you feel. And that's coming from somebody who gets backlash almost every week. From saints. Did I say that? I did. I get backlash every week. It's always something. But it's not them. I was talking to Chrissy today. I said, one thing I've learned is that it's not the people that we have to worry about. It's how I respond that I have to worry about. It's about how I respond to this or how I respond to them, how I respond to what they're saying about me. Not knowing I know. Not knowing that I know. I can hear you without you saying a word. It's not my fault. The Lord gave it to me. I didn't ask for it. But I know. And then let me tell you something else. Y'all remember? Now, look, this is another testimony for the books. Y'all remember I told you all that stuff I was going through when we first started this live, with Prayer of the Grief streaming. And I was saying how the Lord, I wanted to leave my job. You were about to lose your job. I wanted to leave. I wasn't going to lose it. I was going to leave. And the Lord allowed the very one. And y'all, I promise you, this person created so much havoc in my life, in the short amount of time that she was there at my job, my superior put me through the ringer, lied on me, created false documentation, all of this stuff, had people join her in the lives, cried, angry, wanted to knock her out, but I couldn't, because the Lord said I couldn't. Obviously, we have to hold our peace and let the Lord fight for us. And come the end of the semester, people are saying, "Well, this came out. This came out. And are you gonna submit your statement? And are you gonna submit this?" No, because to me that's a form of retaliation. I'll let God do it. I don't want no parts of nothing. This semester is over. Leave me alone. Listen, vacation starts now. I don't want to be bothered. Do y'all not know? Nina's. All I will say is, God did it again. Why? Because she is no longer at my school. Woo! Listen, no longer at my school. I never prayed that the Lord, I never prayed God get her, because I wanted to get her. I didn't want him to get him. I didn't want him to get her. I wanted to get her. But I prayed, I said, Lord bless her. Touch her. Save her. That wasn't an easy prayer for me to pray, but that proved growth to me, because that wasn't always a prayer for me in my concerning my enemies. That wasn't always my prayer. But the Lord has grown me, or has stretched me in a place of growth where I was able to pray for her. Listen, watch it, G. Watch it, Jeremy. Watch it. I mean, when I tell you all, this thing hurt me to the core, and the same thing she did to me came back to her, but worse, because I never had to be replaced or had to be moved. And I mean, she tried to do some dirty stuff. Oh my God. But God did it again. I was like, Lord, I don't want to quit. You're telling me I can't leave. I'm not leaving. But you know what? I'm going to trust you about next semester, and I'm going to just leave it in your hands. And when I tell you, oh, the joy that flooded my soul, woo, oh my God, y'all, I'm about ready to listen. Y'all have no idea the burden that woman bared, oh my God, on me. She just brought about so much. Oh my God. But the Lord did it. And then two of the people that lied on the with her is gone. Woo! They gone too. You can't tell me they quit. They quit. There is a purpose in your test. I said, God, I don't want to go through this again, so I need you to help me pass. Because if I have to go through it again, I'm not guaranteed. Lord, now, you know. Listen, and did. Because it's one thing I can ignore anybody. Oh, I'm good at ignoring people. I'll ignore you, and you will feel like there's a dagger in your heart. Like, I would think nothing about it. Nothing. Sorry. But the Lord didn't allow that to be. Like, I tried to do it, and he said, no, speak. I don't want to speak to that. I don't want to speak to her. Speak. I'll go in and say good morning. And I would just die on the inside. Like, oh my God, I just died. Just dead. But I did it anyway. I said, God, Lord, till it became easier. The more I did it, the more easier it became. But vengeance is mine, said the Lord. And I kept hearing, oh, well, Miss Johnson did this, Miss Johnson did that. And I didn't even have to say anything because I didn't know what was going on. And the person she's talking to, they said, Miss Johnson didn't think about you. Miss Johnson didn't say that. She didn't do nothing. She didn't think about you. But she was expecting me. Ain't that something? How the enemy expects you to do what he did to you? No. I'm going to hold my peace and let the Lord fight for me. And he did it. I don't know what this year's going to become, or what this year's going to hold, rather, this semester. I pray we don't get nobody as bad as her, or Jesus, or worse. God, Lord. Right. Right. And that's another thing too. Because I asked the Lord, I said, well, Lord, is this, is, are you gonna at least get that stuff off my record? I'm like, can we get that out of there? That's lies. Get that. What you gonna do about that? He said they lied on my son, and people still believe those lies. I said, okay, never mind. Never mind. You got it, Jesus. You got it, Lord. I hear you, God. I hear you. Who am I to where I can't take being lied on, and they actually believe the lies? It's not for me to prove them wrong. It's for me to prove God to be the head of my life. It's for me to prove that I'm living the right way. Because no matter what you do, people will believe what they want to believe. But he had to get me together. And I do believe, Jimmy, you're right. I do believe that it was a growing aspect, because that wasn't the only thing I experienced that year, but it was, with all that other stuff packed on it, and people, oh my God, people will make you go there. That's why we have to be saved from. That's got to save us from sin, save us from ourselves, and to save us from people, save us from his wrath, save us from people. Deliver me from people. It was people that caused Moses to miss out. So I just want that you all be encouraged. Trust me, as I'm going, the Lord is fighting for me, and I see what he's doing. It ain't always, easy. It's not always comfortable, but I see God moving, and I see him um, fighting for me as I do what he's telling me to do, the way he's telling me to do it. I can't say, oh, I'm not bothered or phased, and yet I act like I have an attitude. Not save us from what? What part you talking about, Jeremy? Give us grace to endure what? But which part? Endure what? Endure what? Help me. Help me see what you see. But he completes the job. I was telling them about the accident in 2011. I showed them the picture and everything. Oh yeah, no, the trial was inevitable. The trial was inevitable. That's something we don't need. We need to be safe from people, how we respond to them, and all of that. And no, them trials, they coming regardless, whether we want them to or not. But mommy, I was telling them about the accident and how God brought me out of that, and I had to learn to do everything all over again. Mom, isn't that true? It was crazy. Tell him, Mom. Tell him. But yeah, it was. It's all about God's grace. It's important to just go through the way God wants us to go through, so that we can come out and actually be who He's calling us to be. Because ultimately, right, Mom? You got to go back and watch it because you late. But it's okay. I forgot to tag you. But go through as if you're living to please the Lord, because overall that's what we're trying to do. We're living to do, and we want to make Him proud. We don't want to disappoint Him, just like you don't want to disappoint. Listen, you got to go through the fire in order to come out as pure gold. Watch that, Jeremy. Now that right there, don't do that. Don't do that, because I hear I think about the Hebrew boys in that part. Don't do that. But yeah, go through as if you were trying to please the Lord. Like really have Him in the forefront of your mind, because that helps. Listen, Jerry, don't do it. That helps us. It should help us, right? See the bigger picture. One thing my First Lady often talks about and tells us is we have to get out of ourselves. This is not about us. So with that, yep, that's what I said, Mom. With that, um, we just have to embrace the journey, embrace what God is trying to get us to learn, and trust Him through it all, because He's going to bless you for it. He's going to bless you for it. Don't be distracted. That's right. He's going to bless you for it. He is. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Those are just key situations, like key points. Those are just, yes, yes. Don't be distracted. That's Mother all day. Those are just key points that the Lord has done. Few things that the Lord has done, but there are multiple things that the Lord has done for me by being faithful to Him, because I was faithful to Him. Not man. I could care less about being faithful to man. I'm faithful to God, and whatever that looks like. Because when you're faithful to God, everything else falls into place. Because I'm not appeasing. It's always funny how this works. I'm not looking to appease and fulfill man's expectation of me. I'm not. I'm looking to fulfill God's expectation of me. Does that mean I do not heed to leadership? No. And that's not what I said. That's not what I said. Satan is a liar. That's not what I said. What I am saying, though, is that whenever I live to serve God, everything else falls into place. I won't have to worry about what they think I need to be doing, because God will lead and guide me and show me, hey, do this. Hey, don't do that. Hey, go over there, but don't go over there today. Don't go over there tomorrow. I'm living for God. I'm not living for man. And so we have to be mindful to look to God. God, who is the author, the start, and the finisher. Huh? Oh, you're not ready. Almighty God. It always happens this way. It never fails. It's always relevant. But yeah, you all be encouraged. Stephen, please do. Please do. Trust me and believe me, son. I can't tell you something I've never gone through. But I can always tell you things and what the Lord has done for me and how He brought me out. But we have to be intentional about how we go through and what that looks like. So we can't just go through complaining and murmuring. You know what murmuring is? Murmuring is complaining under your breath or thinking it like, it's stupid. You know how we do. And it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to do that, but it can be done. And if you make a mistake, Lord, help me. I'm sorry, forgive me, help me. I'm complaining, Lord, I'm sorry. I don't mean to complain. I'm just tired. Help me. Be honest. It's not like you can't be honest with God and just tell Him, oh, Lord, I'm really feeling away right now. He know it already, so why not tell Him? Have a conversation with the Lord. Have a conversation. That's all prayer is. God, I'm about tired. I'm sick of your people. Think you can't? Ask me how I know. You sure can. You sure can. Have a conversation with the Lord. Have that moment where you steal away. Sometimes I would sit in my car and just pray, meditate, study, because it was a steal away place for me. Being homeless and sleeping out of your car helps you find a sense of solitude sometimes. And then sometimes, depending on what your household is like, a place your car can help, bring and center you, bring you all back, bring you in. Whatever that place of solitude looks like for you, find that place, and that's where you have a conversation with the Lord. That can be your closet. You're on the closet floor. That can be in your bathroom. Before I had a car and I lived with my parents, sometimes I would steal away in the bathroom, run the shower, whatever. Sometimes I wouldn't even be using the bathroom. I would just be sitting there praying and talking to God. That way, if I'm in the bathroom, nobody will bother me because they'll know what I'm doing, or what they'll think they'll know what I'm doing, right? I'm in there obviously for a reason, but I'm stealing away. Stealing away. You have chaos in your home, steal away. Find a place where you can meet the Lord. Bathroom, closet, your room. If you share a room, okay. Go to the closet. Go to the laundry room. Go to the kitchen. If it's just you, go to the kitchen. If you're the only one up, yeah. Find a place where you can have a conversation with the Lord and He can grant you peace. Because ultimately we need peace in our minds. That's why the Bible talks about being transformed by the renewing of our mind. Because it's in our mind, it's with our mind that we serve the Lord. We can't serve the Lord when our mind is full with all this junk. We can't ask me how I know. I tried. It doesn't work. My mind is too cloudy. And I'm an overthinker already. Child, bah. That thing is, woo. Talk about overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And then you're about ready to have a nervous breakdown because you're thinking, your mind is running 50,000 miles a minute, it seems like. So do what you need to do to steal away and have that time with the Lord. Honestly, that's all that I really felt led to share tonight. It's funny because that I use that term, this her. That's what people say when somebody meets somebody or they're talking about somebody and they don't know who you're talking about. So they send them a picture of the person and say, this her. I'm her. Let's give them something to talk about. Oh, Lord Jesus. Thank you. But listen, just stay diligent in doing. Y'all already know I took it myself. I don't need that extra. But just be diligent and mindful. Intentional is what I need to say. Intentional about doing what you need to do and finding that time with the Lord, because I guarantee you that peace, that peace is second to none. I promise you there's nothing like it. Nothing like when you spend time with the Lord and it's just you and Him, it's the sweetest feeling. Oh my God. It's amazing to feel that and spend that time with Him. And you hate I hate to come out. I'm like, man, I gotta go to work. Or man, but just be encouraged. And you already know, if you all need me, I'm here. I pray that you all have an amazing weekend. I pray that you all are encouraged by tonight's live. Trust me in the Lord. If He did it for me, He can do it for you. Jasmine actually was one of the ones who Jasmine Jones was actually one of the ones in her family. Her mother and her brother was another family who helped me during my time of being homeless. They were like, no, you come with us. Because I wasn't saying nothing. I was living in my car. Then I would come to rehearsals and they were like, where do you live? And I would always, redirect. Chantel is another one. Redirect. Once my season was up, they would redirect. But once my season at 8 a.m. p.m., I met Chantel, and it was just so many different things and so many different people that the Lord placed in my life that helped me in my time of need. And I didn't know that I needed at the time, but they were there. The Lord placed them there. And so I want to always make sure that I am conscious and actually referencing those people. No problem, Stephen. I understand, dude. Referencing those people and so that I never want to be one to forget what people have done for me. I never want to forget what the Lord has done for me, but I never want to forget the people and what they've done for me, what He's allowed them to do for me, what He's placed them in my life to do for me. I never want to take them for granted. So you hear it from me. I appreciate you all tremendously, because transition is difficult. And it's easier to go through with somebody who God placed in your life, who really loves you. And I am grateful for those He has placed in my life to help me in my transitional period. Because this transition is just not one. It's not one period. There are multiple transitional periods. And sometimes we don't know what they look like. But to have somebody there to catch us it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. So with all that being said, again, I appreciate y'all. Hey, Keish. Um, I love you all. You all be encouraged. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. We don't have time to let go. We don't have time to play games with our souls. We got away with it when we were, growing up and playing saved. I love you too, Puddin'. I love you too. It's my little sugar. Um, Kiss Uni for me, please. My chunkadoo. But we don't have time. We don't have time. And so just be encouraged. Be encouraged and hold on to the Lord as if it is the last thing you have left. Because if we think about it, it is. Aha! But um, yeah, so you all be encouraged. We will be in touch. Send hey to Shan and Keish. Ignore the why. Um, but yes, we will be in touch about next Thursday about what we're going to do. Thank you all again for tuning in. Y'all see me playing with my Apple Watch band. It's what it is. This is y'all gotta wait to see what this is gonna be. But yes, so again, you all be encouraged. Happy Thursday again. Happy early Friday. I pray that you all have a safe weekend. Be encouraged. Keep the baby safe. Keep yourself safe. Do what you need to do for yourself mentally and spiritually, and even physically, so that you can be all that you need to be in the kingdom. Oh, look at y'all loving on each other. Y'all so cute. Um, yeah, so you all be encouraged, okay? Know that I love you all so much. And I'm just grateful for what is to come in your lives and mine. And so, if all hearts and minds are clear, I will be seeing you all soon, Lord willing. Thank you, Tatasha, for being my right hand man, woman, my best friend, and helping me with this live. When I talk about my media team, I mean her. It'd be me and her. It's her and I. We're the media team. But yes, thank you again, Tosh, for everything that you do to help and aid this endeavor. But you all be blessed. I love y'all. See y'all later.